Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Let's go live chat, not top chat. Hit the live chat option. Good morning, Herbie and Billy. Mr. Marmars and HB. Good morning, guys. So far, we're survivors. Looks like we survived the big blow. Big Al's Mushroom Shack. Good morning, Big Al. You got a snow day, and you chose to hang out with us. That's really cool. Thank you. Thank you very much. Good morning, Big Al. HB, Mr. Marmars, Billy Zozo, LSD. Zozo. Senor Zozo. It's like Zorro on LSD. I wonder what that show would have been like. Good morning, Marky Z. Good morning, Nerdster. Nerds, are you getting to stay home today because of snow, or are you getting a snow day, Nerdy? Talk to me, Nerdy. Snow day? Good morning, Marky. Who's getting a snow day today like Big Al? Nerdy's nope. Nope, they're slave driving me. Herbie, no school today, huh? Kids gonna stay home? Good morning, Jolie. Good morning, T-Doll. Good morning, Vaggie. I agree. I'm having a snow day. I can tell you that. I don't really plan on going anywhere. And it's really not as cold as it's been the last couple of days, but the roads just are terrible. And watching the news this morning, accidents, local news, accidents happening everywhere. People skittering off the road. I have to wait till they plow them a little bit better, maybe salt them, get some traction out there. I gotta watch the wind too, Herbie, so it doesn't blow my boxes away. I have another box out on the front porch this morning, and I don't want it to blow away. Oh, speaking of going away, who would do this? Who would do this? I'll turn the camera around. 22 people, 11 likes. Are we gonna do better than that on the likes this morning? I just have to wait till they catch up. I just need to be as patient as I am with Shrooms. Okay, I'll be patient this morning. Good morning, Sandy P. Okay. So, when was it? Saturday. I wanted to make it easy on the postman to come and pick up a button. First of all, let me start. Shoveling snow is not my friend. Shoveling snow is not my friend. I grew up in California, guys. I'm not supposed to be shoveling snow. No. Not my friend. I'm not a big fan of shoveling snow. Shovel this, pal. Anyways, and the worst thing is to shovel snow when it's snowing, because you know it's just going to cover everything you just shoveled away, shoveled clear. So then, like, I always have a moral dilemma. Wazzy. When do you actually start shoveling? Do you have to wait for like 2 days after it stops snowing for sure? Or do you just shovel every day, no matter what? Okay? Which do you do? Big Al spent 5 hours shoveling snow. Jeez. That's one of the times you get a neighborhood kid to do it for you. I have 2 young men in my neighborhood knock on my door pretty regularly and ask, can they remove my snow? Well, guess what I'm gonna do? Laws does it as he goes along because it's better to do a few light than one big heavy. Cleanie's like, I don't shovel. I'm not a shoveler. Me, personally, neither am I, Cleanie. I'm not down with the shovel. Okay, so Saturday it's snowing lightly. And I have to put a box out, a mailbox, a crate out, filled with the little boxes for everybody. And I have to put it out Saturday. Okay, let me do that. And I did it early, before 9 a.m. And I looked at my sidewalk and I said, my postman deserves a free walk up the drive, or up the sidewalk. So I'm going to sacrifice. I'm going to make the big sacrifice and I'm going to go clear the snow up the sidewalks so the postman can get to the postage. Okay. So I do that. I'm feeling good about myself. I'm like, I took it easy on the postman. Good for you, Pops. You did the right thing. And when I was through, instead of taking my snow plow on my snow shovel all the way back around and putting it in the garage, I leaned it up against a bush next to the front porch, knowing full well that I was going to have to plow some more. I wasn't through because the snow was coming down. But maybe I got it covered for the postman. Okay? So I'm checking every once in a while. I check, is the box gone? No. Not gone, but empty. He'll empty it and leave me the crate. I open it up around 1 o'clock. Look out there. No. The box is, the crate is still full. Now, mind you, our mail office closes at 2 p.m. So now I'm like, do I get in the car and do I deliver these to the post office? It's like 1:30 right now. Do I take my life into my hands and get out on the road and head over to the post office so I know for sure that this will get put in the post? Or do I just still wait and hope that the mailman comes? And the mailman still has till 5 to come. What would you do? Moral dilemma, moral dilemma. Would you take your life into your hands and go deliver the boxes to the post office? Or would you leave the crate on the front porch and hope that the postman still comes by? Which would you do? This is a participation question. What do you picture yourself doing? J.W. Owen's taking his life into his hands. Anthony Hunt's putting it on the porch. Cyber's like, 1 extra day is not going to kill anybody. Sammy P is not driving. Cleanie is not driving. Greenie is on his way to the post office. Kim is sitting on it, but she's watching to make sure the postman still comes. Okay? Calico Kitty saying, well, Pops wasn't important. The boxes had been packaged Friday. And I try to, from my perspective, the way I try to run things, I try to get things out within 24 hours. So these boxes were about 12 hours old. Okay, but they needed to get out on Saturday for me to have completed my mission. The mission that I self-subscribed mission. 4 o'clock. No post office man. 5 o'clock. No post office guy. And I'm thinking, you know what? I made the wrong call. I should have put my life in my hands and gone and delivered. I don't even go get something to eat, but I'm gonna deliver something to the mail. I made the call to leave the box on the front porch. At about 6 o'clock, it's getting dark, and I know the postman's not coming. So I bring the box inside. Okay. Wah, wah, wah. I have to put it out this morning, which we did. But yesterday, I'm like looking at the sidewalk, and it's filled with snow again. Like I had never cleared it for the postman. Cleared, I mean, covered with snow. Almost a foot high. I'm like, darn it. I knew I shouldn't have cleared that sidewalk for the postman. That was a waste of time. It wasn't really, but this is my head. So I'm open up the front door. Let me grab my snow shovel, and I'm gonna run it down the sidewalk again. It should take me a half hour, 45 minutes, an hour maybe. I open up my front door to grab my snow shovel. How many people think the snow shovel was still there? Pops, why'd you leave the snow shovel on the front porch? Halfway behind a bush, but it's still sort of seen. Snow shovel, poof, gone. Can you believe that? Who is out in the middle of storms looking to steal snow shovels off of people's front porches? Now I don't even have a snow shovel. Now I have an excuse. I have to get in the car and take my life into my hands. Instead of going to the post office, I gotta go to Home Depot or one of those places and get a snow shovel. Maybe someone's just borrowing it, Kim. It's back there this morning. That is so crappy. What's an old guy supposed to do? No, Wossie, there were no footprints. That was all covered too. Wossie was going to detective on me. It is so wrong on every level, Jolie. You stole the old guy's snow shovel off his front porch in the middle of a storm. Well, Mr. Marmar says they could have at least shoveled the driveway before they left. Oh, that's funny. So Saturday, no mail went out. But what did go out, at some point during the day/night, goodbye, snow shovel. It was lovely knowing you. That's the first act of thievery or anything stolen from me since I've been in Detroit. It's first thing that's been lifted. Well, I'm not going to tell you what I think Karma's going to do with that snow shovel. You never know what Karma's going to do with that snow shovel. So, have a good day too, Mark. The skunk probably stole it. That's funny. No, JW, it's there. It wasn't there. It wasn't leaning against the wall where I'd put it. And it wasn't like right out in the open. It was sort of. Obviously, they could see it and grab it. But I didn't like have a free take me sign on it or anything like that. Okay? And it was just a shovel. Excuse me. I could see a snow blowing machine being tempting. So I'm like, who wants a shovel? Who in the world wants a shovel? I avoid the thing pretty much all year long. Not these guys, whoever they were. But if it was borrowed, wouldn't it be back by now? Shouldn't I have it back by now? So now the box with the mail is sitting on the front porch, but the sidewalk's not cleared for the postman. The sidewalk's not cleared. I wonder if he's still going to pick up the box. These are the things I go through. These are the tough things in life. This is the bane of my existence. Okay? If you steal a shovel, you have to use it. I agree with Wazzy. Big Al said they walked next door, knocked on the door and said, "Ma'am, would you like your snow shoveled?" They just made a $20 bill and they still have the shovel. Anyways, I can't even imagine. Were they walking by in the snow? Was it somebody driving by and then, wait a minute, there's a snow shovel. Let me go get that. I don't get it. Of all the things to steal, a snow shovel. I was got. Greenie thinks it's over where the box blew the other day. You're funny. Go over and look for it. It's where your box blew. It wasn't windy though. It really wasn't that windy. Anyways, that's my sad story for this weekend. A, my boxes didn't go out. And B, my snow shovel went poof. So, I'll just buy myself a new snow shovel and call it a birthday present. Huh? Corey, you know what? I have a Ring camera. I bought when I moved here. And because I'm a goofball, I haven't even installed it yet. It's literally sitting, waiting for a project day when I could install my Ring camera. That would have been cool. Because it would have made a notice that there was somebody at the front coming up the sidewalk. It would have tingly alarmed. And I could say through the speaker, "Excuse me, put the snow shovel down." So now, that's a good call. Now I have to not only get a new snow shovel, but I have to put my rings in. I have to put my ring in. Sarah Bear, you too. I have it sitting there in a box that's 6 months old already. Okay? Don't be a stoner, Pops. I'm a stoner. Oh, shut up, Greenie. Yeah, Sarah Bear, I would have yelled out, "Hey, that's not impeccable." People turn around and look at the Ring camera and go, "What the hell is impeccable?" Okay. So, I got a quick little article to read you guys. How important... Joe G says a Ring camera box since he took his son to college in 2019. Joe, they have new models. Psst. Hey, Joe. There's new models out there now. No, I mean, not that 2019 wouldn't work. But I wonder... I wonder if they still work. I don't know. Mine's a 2025 model that I'll mount in 2026. How important are ethics when you guys, or you're receiving or you're providing plant medicine of the psychedelic kind? How important are ethics? Do you guys consider it an important aspect of being a provider, a farmer or a provider? How important is it to be ethical in your practices? You know, psychiatrists, psychologists, doctors, even lawyers, they have ethics clauses. They have things that they have to practice. They take certain oaths, and they're held to a high level of accountability of ethics. I'm wondering why sometimes that gets skipped in the myco community. I wonder why. Let's read an article. Kylie Taylor became the psychedelic field's reluctant ethics advisor after watching one too many well-meaning therapists crash and burn. Now she helps practitioners stay in integrity through peer consultation groups that feel a bit like therapy themselves. We asked Kylie why psychedelic work creates unique risks for misconduct, what clients should look for and run from when choosing a guide, and how practitioners can stay in right relationship with those that they serve. Does this sound like something interesting to you guys? Do you want to hear what Kylie has to say? One of the field's top ethics advisors today. She runs a program where they work with practitioners and facilitators, and they do group interfacing with each other online and talk about ethics and try to hold each other to that high standard. Now it's an odd situation because you're talking about holding to a high standard on something that isn't quite legal yet. So you would think, well, it's illegal, I can do illegal stuff too at the same time. And there's too many of them out there. I think the field's cleaning up quite a bit. We talked about this last week with HB. A lot of shimmers and shammers and wolves out there. There had been a lot. I remember this one guy, this was about 4 years ago. He was getting very, very well known for serving liquid culture, syringes, 10cc syringes of liquid culture. Now back then the prices were crazy too. It was like $25 for one syringe of liquid culture. But when you got it from him, it was a pretty good genetic. And they were in, I want to say Montana. Husband and wife team. And they started getting pretty big. They started doing almost commercials on YouTube, wearing t-shirts with their company name on it. Okay? And it looked like they were doing pretty good. It looks like the money was pouring in at $25 a pop. Okay. And I remember subscribing to them once or twice. I bought some LC from them. And then I was like, I'm not going to have to buy another CC. I'll just start my own jar from his 10 CCs. And there I've got, now I can fill up my own syringes. These guys were doing really well. And somehow or another, my name got attached to them in that I would recommend their service. I would tell people, so-and-so has LC, I highly recommend them, I've worked with them, they do great. A little pricey, but that's what the price of the market is today. So if I recommended one person to them, I recommended 25. Okay. All of a sudden on my emails, I start getting, hey Pops, Do you know where so-and-so is? We've been writing to them and they haven't replied. No, I don't really, I'm not in touch with them. I was just recommending them. Well, we received 2 of their syringes, and after a little bit of investigation, what was in the syringe was just water. There wasn't even any genetics in it. It was a syringe filled with water. I said, you gotta be kidding me. That's outrageous. And you can't get a hold of the people. No, their website's gone. Their IG page is closed. I get another email. Pops, do you know what happened to so-and-so? I get another one. Pops, what that group that was doing that, I ordered $100 worth of stuff and now I don't hear from them. I've ordered $125 worth of stuff and it turned out to be water. You son of a guns. How dare you pollute a community of well-meaning people who are just sitting there waiting for their liquid culture, and they pay top dollar for it. And they just can't wait. They've got everything, their grain sitting there. All they need to do is inoculate, and they're on the way to being in the game. And you pull a stunt like that so you can put a $25 bill in your pocket? And I don't forget you. You're just an ugh. But it's the ripple effect of that. How many of those people do you think said, okay, I'm going to continue in the community that does this to each other? Not that many. All kinds of stuff going on. And we don't preach the ethics of it. The guys that are, I'm going to teach a girl how to, I'm going to teach her how to make a monotub. And they bring a 6-pack with them. True story. There was a guy in Denver. He was a guy like me about 4 or 5 years ago. He started making videos about how to grow mushrooms. And people would reach out to him. And they'd ask. And he was the big shot of answering these questions. Of course, he wore a mask. Oh, yeah. Wore a mask. So you didn't even know who he was. But he was in Colorado. He was in Denver, actually. His gig was he would go to your house for a fee and teach you how to set up a monotub. That first summer, the whole community's on fire because they find out dude had gone over to one of the girls' houses and hooked up with her. Used the opportunity for a hookup. Well, it scorched his reputation. He was out of the game. But that wasn't unusual. He wasn't the first and he wasn't the last to do that. I'm going to come to your house, I'm going to charge you, and I'm going to try to take advantage of you. How did you end up focusing on ethics in psychedelic therapy for nearly 3 decades? Her answer. I used to dislike ethics. A long time ago, I was asked to be on an ethics committee and I refused. I was defensive about my own mistakes, and part of me didn't want to be self-righteous and tell other people what to do. That's what I thought ethics was. My views changed while I was working with Stan Groff, a psychiatrist and a pioneer in the psychedelic field. We were training people to be facilitators of holotropic breath work. and I was one of the senior trainers. I started noticing that a few good people were getting into trouble when they took their work back into their practices and they interacted with clients who were in extraordinary states of consciousness. Clients that you just helped get high. Okay? One story really got my attention. I call it the story of the woman who lost everything. She used holotropic breathwork with a long-term client, and they had a very deep oneness experience where they merged, which can happen. She didn't know what to make of it and thought maybe they were supposed to be together romantically. They acted on it. After a few months, the client felt exploited and reported her to the ethics board, then sued her in court. She lost her house, her practice, her license, and a lot of money. I thought, this is weird. She had had the traditional ethics education. What happened here? I began to see that there were gaps in ethics education for this work. I started writing and thinking more about it. Then I was assisting at a workshop with Jack Cornfield and Stan Groff. During a debriefing with the assistants, I shyly shared a couple of my thoughts about ethics. Jack grabbed my journal and wrote ethics in big letters. That was encouraging to me. I proceeded to write a book on the topic published in 1995 called The Ethics of Caring. That's how I got started. What makes ethics in psychedelic work different from regular therapy? Why do practitioners need special ethical training for non-ordinary states? Answer. First of all, practitioners are doing something different from talk therapy. They're spending long hours entirely focused on the client, as opposed to 1-hour sessions, and unexpected things can happen when you're working together so intensely. Transpersonal experiences can come up, and so can the deep experience of biographical trauma. Transpersonal experiences are experiences outside the biography, outside of experiences that we've known since we were born. That can include perinatal experiences in the womb, perinatal experiences, thank you. Perinatal experiences in the womb can include part of the birth process, as well as kinds of experiences outside of our skin encapsulated ego. Mystical experiences of oneness with all beings. Traditional therapists need to get educated about transpersonal psychology to know what to make of these phenomena. Then there's a whole other set of risks related to the fears and desires of the facilitator or therapist. What can come up is, for instance, a facilitator might be jealous of the experience the client is having. Or they could be afraid of the client's experience and push it away. Then there's the desire to manage the client or fear of merging with the client. Therapists need to understand and anticipate that these desires and fears are going to come up from the power of the extraordinary state alone. HB, this is an incredibly important topic. We don't talk about it. Question, are there red or green flags clients should watch out for when choosing a facilitator? My green flags are that the person is well trained, that they've had their own experiences with psychedelics or other extraordinary states, and that they have a support structure of their own for self-exploration. They have their own therapist or peer support group, or both. When they're talking with the client, they're looking at that unique individual and what that individual needs, rather than trying to fit them into a mold of how things should be. Red flags would be if they have any investment in any kind of outcome with you as a client. They seem to want you to have a particular kind of experience, perhaps like their own, or they want to direct how things should play out. If they're attracted to you or your transformation in a way that they feel like they want more of a relationship with you, those are certainly red flags. Before you work with someone, talk with them first, at least 1 or 2 times, to get a sense of how it's going to be. Good morning, Revelin. If it doesn't feel good, go to someone else. Question. Most practitioners have good intentions, but everybody has blind spots. How can they stay in the right relationship with clients and the medicine? Answer. I think the best way to do that is to have a peer consultation group. When everybody takes turns getting and receiving consultation, you get to hear other people's questions and feelings. You might recognize a feeling that you have yourself that you weren't consciously aware of. What I wanted to do with inner ethics, that framework, was to provide enough structure for the group that people would know what their role was and be able to fulfill their role without getting into their own stuff. There are 3 roles group members fill in rotation: the presenter, the consultants, and the facilitator. The presenter brings an issue from their practice. It could be ethical issues or a psychological difficulty with the client. The consultants are there to help the presenter unfold what is happening and feel safe enough to do that. They're not there to answer the question, but to help the presenter answer it themselves. The most important way to do that is by offering compassion. Our society is starved of compassion. When we finally get it, we are more ready to get to the truth of what's really going on with us. Then the facilitator is focused on the presenter and what they need. They step in if the consultants are going too fast, if the presenter needs more compassion, or if things are going off topic. They protect the presenter and they make sure structure is followed. The structure is critical. If people are devoted to it, amazing things can happen. Can underground psychedelic therapists effectively self-regulate, or would clients be better protected with oversight from licensing boards? Answer. Everybody who's doing this work needs oversight, whether they're operating underground or not. And I think it can be very effectively handled with the group, as long as all the members are honest with themselves and each other. I don't think that underground therapists are automatically going to be harming or taking care of people just because they're underground. Having a licensing board doesn't ensure protection either. I believe it depends on the person and the structures for reflection and support that they've set up around themselves. There are some times, for the benefit of the client or the practitioner, that you need one-on-one oversight. If you're working with a group and something comes up repeatedly that you can't resolve with your peers, then it might be a good time to go to your supervisor and look at it more deeply. The ideal situation is that practitioners are committed to their own process of introspection and that they are connected to a supportive community. That's what's going to keep clients safe. Huge issues. Huge. So, how many people think Pops is now in search of a support group? An online support group of experienced facilitators. I'm a newbie. I'm a complete newbie. I'm going to get into one of these. We're going to have the one group that I'm already talking to, meet once a week for an hour, and they talk about issues with clients and themselves that they've been encountering for the past week, and looking forward to some of the people that they're going to be helping, and they already know some of the issues that may come up. 100% hugely, 100% hugely important. And I'm telling you, get into this, start looking into being a facilitator, getting certified. Underground therapist, as we call you. In the next 3 to 4 years, it's booming. They're going to be looking for people that have the experience already, have already gone through some of the training, and continuous training, not just once and I'm done training. Always learning, always training, always looking at new programs, and having the support group that you answer to for your ethics. And I'm telling you, for some of us, some of you out there, it's going to be a lucrative situation. Not that you're doing it for the money, but the money itself isn't bad. It's what do we do with it? So, I can continue to advise some of you that are naturally empathetic and have a desire to facilitate. Look into it. Get out there. Do the work. You will be rewarded. No politics, no politics, no politics. Okay? I'm not doing politics. And I'm going to talk about politics right now. This is a political issue. You're welcome, Lynette. This is a political issue. This is it. I finally reached my max this weekend. I'm not talking about any particular group. I'm not pointing at a Republican or a Democrat or an independent. That is below me. That's just divisive crap. That's below me. But I'm tired of seeing Americans being killed. I'm over it. I'm over schools of children being slaughtered. I'm over malls and dance clubs that you can't go to because of fear of dying. I'm over it. I'm over people that can't go to the synagogue or to the temple or to a church and pray and be safe. And I'm telling you, Americans were responsible for it. At the end of the day, we are responsible for it. We sit here and we point at our leaders, but then we jealously hold on to some customs and some ways of life that we won't get rid of. The right to bear arms. I've believed all my life I'm a Marine, and I can bear arms, and I can use a rifle or a pistol or I can use a crossbow and kill you. But America's the leading nation in the world in killing its own people. And the simple reason is because we have access to the guns. It's as simple as that. Australia's one big mass shooting, Bondi Beach. It was so mind-boggling to Australians because nobody even has guns there to be able to pull that kind of carnage off. But here in America, we got 8 guns in every house, including assault rifles. Well, you don't have the right to take away my right to bear arms. I don't. But your right to bear arms and your ego to hold on to that is killing your fellow Americans. Who would need more than one gun safely locked away somewhere for home protection, period? And I never thought I'd reach here. I was a strong advocate of the right to bear arms all my life. Well, the Constitution says, the Constitution doesn't say one thing about go out and commit mass murders. Over 700 mass shootings in the United States last year. It took a gun to do that. Oh, well, it's not the gun's fault. The gun is just used for... A gun has one purpose. Kill. It's one purpose. And if we can pretend it's, oh, well, I go to target shooting. Oh, well, I'm a... When you hunt, you're killing. That's a clean kill if you're eating the food. But a gun has one purpose, and it's to kill. So we hand them out to 18-year-olds with mental issues like they're lollipops in the United States. And we look the other way. Well, it's our right. As long as we keep standing on that, the ego that we are Americans and we have the... Go do what Canada does. Go do what Australia does. Go do what France does. All of these other nations. Those people aren't being attacked in their homes because they don't have an AR-15. I'm sure you have, Kim. I'm sure. That's why one gun is okay. What does Lao Tzu say about it? What does Lao Tzu say about weapons? 2,500 years ago, this guy tried teaching us. But we never listened. 31st verse of the Tao Te Ching. Weapons are the tools of violence. All decent men detest them. Therefore, followers of the Tao never use them. Arms serve evil. They are the tools of those who oppose wise rule. Use them only as a last resort. For peace and quiet are dearest to the decent man's heart. And to him, even a victory is no cause for rejoicing. He who thinks triumph beautiful is one with a will to kill. And one with a will to kill shall never prevail upon our world. It is a good sign when man's higher nature comes forward. A bad sign when his lower nature comes forward with the slaughter of multitudes. We have grief and sorrow. Every victory is a funeral. When you win a war, you celebrate by mourning. The 31st verse of the Tao Te Ching unequivocally states that implements of violence serve evil. Lao Tzu clearly knew that weapons designed to kill are tools of futility and should be avoided if you choose to live according to the principles of the Tao. This includes the design of weapons, the production, the marketing, the distribution, and of course the use of weapons in the business of killing. The Tao is about life. Weapons are about death. The Tao is a creative force. Weapons are a destructive force. Humanity has failed to learn this profound teaching of the Tao Te Ching. This is why I don't do politics typically, but I am not going to shut up today, Herbie. I'm not. What's going on in Minneapolis had me over the top. I don't care who's right, who's wrong. A gun killed someone. We got to knock it off. We're being told by the wisest people that have ever lived. But we won't listen to them because we have the right. And get out of our egos. Get out of our egos. Guns don't kill people. That is the oldest one, Mr. Marmar. I'm not picking on you. Guns don't kill people. Yeah, the gun did kill someone. A human pulled the trigger, but a gun killed someone. It was designed to do that, and the human used it for that. Why would you have one in the first place? Just to put it in a drawer and pretend you don't have it? The humans kill humans. Sometimes we use guns, sometimes we use knives, sometimes we use bombs, sometimes we use crossbows. Sometimes we use shovels, snow shovels. Weapons. They're designed to kill. And we want to stand on some principle that really is more about we want to hold on to this stuff that will destroy our society. Killing children. Humanity has failed to learn this profound teaching. I'm on fire this morning. I don't do politics. I'm not talking about people. I'm not pointing my finger at any individual and telling him, they're icky. I'm talking about that idea that we think we can harness gun use. Why is it getting worse? Why are the statistics stacking up every year? These son of a guns that are making this stuff, producing these weapons. Oh, last year's model's not good enough. You got to get another one. This year's model. Making money at it. This isn't the media, Mr. Phillips. I'm not listening to the media. You know who I'm listening to? Lao Tzu. I want to live the life of the Tao. I don't want to live the life of an American that has a right to carry a gun. Because that leads to death and destruction. Humanity has failed. Remember, Tao, that Lao Tzu was writing this when weapons were considered bows and arrows, spears and hatchets. He wasn't even talking about the advancement of a gun yet. From his position as an observer and a being of divine wisdom, and I realize how divisive this subject is. I almost didn't do it, and then I said, "What's wrong with you, Pops? You want people to like you, or do you want to tell them the truth?" As Lao Tzu wrote it. I don't get to pick and choose the parts I want to follow. If I want to be aligned with nature, I want weapons gone. Am I making people happy today? No. Am I pissing a few of you off? Probably, but get in touch with why. What is it that I'm saying that's bugging you? Why? Because you need to keep something in your hands that can destroy someone? Because you have the right. Programmed into us from birth. We don't have the right to kill each other, to stock up weapons of destruction. And I'm tired of us not talking about it, not here. We don't talk about this stuff here. And for obvious reasons, look at the comments. But I'm not reading your comments today. I'm reading Lao Tzu. From his position as an observer and a being of divine wisdom, Lao Tzu recognized there's no victory in any activity where killing takes place. Why? Because all people, regardless of their geographic location or their belief system, are connected to each other from the originating spirit. We all come from, retain, and return to that originating spirit when we destroy each other. We're destroying our opportunity for nature to inform us. What appears to our ego to be a victory, to celebrate, is really a funeral. It's a time to mourn. Americans have the victory of gun rights. So we can hold on to weapons that destroy. And we call that a victory. Yeah? Well, I don't call Uvalde a victory. I don't call Alex Pretty a victory. I don't call Renee Good a victory. And I'm not talking politics. I'm talking about the guns themselves. If we remove the guns from the equation, you know that the police in Britain, Great Britain, don't even carry guns. They carry a bobby stick. We can police without guns, you know that? But not in America. The police have to have bigger guns than the bad guys have. Lao Tzu reminds us that taking pleasure in winning a battle is aligned with an ego will to kill. You have to have an ego will to kill. If you think guns in 18-year-old children's hands is a good idea. The Tao is only a creative, nurturing, and loving will. On the physical plane, our highest nature expresses itself through the precepts of the Tao. The written history of humankind involves wars, as far back as it can go. And we measure our supposed march toward civilization by the sophistication of these weapons. We're more civilized. Our weapons are better now. We've advanced from simple spears used in close individual combat to bows and arrows that kill from a short distance, to rifles and explosive devices that execute from further away, to bombs that decimate when dropped from the air. We've reached the level where we have to invent terms like megadeath, weapons of mass destruction, just to describe our current ability to annihilate millions of people, and other life forms with nuclear blasts. The current level of presumably enlightened sophistication means that we have the capacity to destroy all life on our planet with the weapons we've amassed. This perilous state has emerged because we've ignored the basic tenet of the Tao Te Ching, particularly as stressed in this infinite wisdom of the verse. Arms serve evil. They are tools of those who oppose rule. I believe that Lao Tzu was not only speaking about physical weapons, but also non-physical behaviors that are just as destructive. Those include violent words, gestures, and threats that aren't a part of the humankind's higher nature. If you change the way you look at your world, you must include noticing your language and your demeanor. Do you demonstrate that you're a person who values life in all its costumes? Are you someone who wouldn't take up any type of arms, be they physical or not, against another, unless every other alternative means has been exhausted? You have a right to self-defense. That's what the gun should be used for only. And then if forced to injure another, are you able to feel compassion for your so-called enemy? Weapons designed to kill are inconsistent with the very essence of the Tao. These are not Pop's words. These are an incredibly... Everything else we've read from him, oh, I like that, oh, smart, good. Like, oh, wait a minute, not that one. Why? Why not this one? When Lao Tzu says no weapons, and he explains to us why, then for me, finally, I'm going to say no weapons. Up until now, I've been vacillating. No, it's each person's opinion. Everybody has a right. As long as I play that game, I'm a co-conspirator. If I don't honestly say what the Tao Te Ching says about weapons, then I'm a phony baloney. Then I'm picking and choosing which parts I want to talk about and which parts I want to believe. You must make every effort to be peaceful and harmonious with its life-giving, with the Tao's life-giving energy. The massive proliferation of guns in our modern society is a giant step away from humankind's highest nature. Don't you see that, you guys? Every one of you jealously holding on to that weapon, rationalizing why you should have it. What are you teaching the children? Replace defending the right to own and use weapons with the Tao consciousness. I'm going to say that again. Pops is doing this as he reads. I've shifted. I've changed. I could have argued gun rights all day long. And now I know I would be wrong. For me, I would be wrong. Replace defending the right to own and use weapons with the Tao consciousness. Seek instead to aspire to a time when our collective human energy is elevated to such a high status that even the contemplation of killing becomes impossible. I have to start with me. I'm the first guy in that chain, in my home and in my circle. I want a higher form of human consciousness to be acting on a regular basis, especially in my home country, that I'm losing the pride for, not because of our politics. Politics will go on forever. It's all crap. I'm talking about us killing each other. Just the fact that you have a weapon on you gives you an opportunity to die accidentally. You can begin to do this by changing the way you look at the necessity for weapons. It begins with each and every one of us. And we can start by taking heed of what the Tao Te Ching teaches us. By making this verse your personal calling, you have the ability to save our planet from becoming a lifeless one. This is what I believe Lao Tzu was saying to us from 2,500 years ago. Begin to see the use of physical or verbal weapons as unwanted responses. Change your need to defend yourself to a stance of realizing that this is evidence you're ignoring the teachings of your source. Refuse to consider using weapons or violence in any form. By noticing your language and abolishing hatred from your vocabulary. Replace defending your rights to replace and use arms. Wait a minute. Replace defending your right to possess and use arms with an attitude that all death from such instruments are signals of a detachment from the wisdom of the Tao. When enough of us reach a critical mass in our thinking so that it disallows the existence of weapons, we'll be moving in the right direction of our world. No longer will we have to evaluate planet's level of civilization by the sophistication of its weapons. Instead, the measurement will be on the Tao scale of how well we're able to feel and help each other. Then being civil will authenticate the key word, the root word in civilization. I had to get that off my chest. I know it's not a popular opinion among many. And you don't hear me do it often because I don't want to upset you. Well, today I don't care. Today I care that I speak all of Lao Tzu's teachings, not just the ones I want to. And as I'm reading it, and I spent all last night reading, reading it over and over, probably 5 times. Should I do it? Should I read it? Shouldn't I? And the Tao said, of course you should. Are you a teacher? Are you a sage? One person at a time, pops. We can save the planet. We need to talk about it. We need to remove our ego from the ownership or the rights. Imagine if I asked you this one question. I'm going to ask one question. So anyone that owns a gun today, guns, ARs, whatever, got a whole stockpile of them. Would you, I see a couple of people in here that seem pretty gun ownership advocate-ish. I'll ask Herbie, for example. Herbie. I'll ask 3 people. Herbie, Kim, and Waz. I'm going to ask my 3 friends a quick question. If, this is a hypothetical, if giving up every gun you owned, taking those guns and turning them in some authority that's going to destroy them, if you knew, beyond a shadow of a doubt, you knew, if you went and turned your weapons in, that no more children would be killed in the schools in the United States. Not another child will die because you turned your weapons in. Would you do it? It's a simple yes or no. Would you do it? Anyone else can answer too, yes or no. Kimberly, it starts out, I'm glad you said yes. I didn't ask, is it realistic? It's realistic if we do it. There's also saying no. I'm holding on to my gun, and whatever happens to the kids in the school, that's what happens. Okay. All right. Got a lot of notes here. Wow. So holding on to my own gun, I don't care how many kids die. Okay. I don't really have anything else I could say to that. All right. So we'll have a different message tomorrow, and it won't be anything about the Constitution. Okay? Mr. Marmars, we don't have to live in a cartoon world. We need to live in a world that sources love and goodness and kindness. And sometimes it takes sacrifice of our own little, oh, I want to hold on to this because I have a right. Okay. Pops has probably pushed as many buttons as he could afford to push today. Give me 5 people that say, Pops, you pushed my buttons. I told you what Lao Tzu has to say about it. I told you what Lao Tzu has to say about it, and there's no question in my mind I would turn in my steak knives if it meant no more children dying. Okay? So, thank you guys. I did have a great birthday. Thank you. Sammy P, it's valuable. Okay, you guys. Good, I'm glad. I don't mean to push buttons. Honestly, I was reading this. It's the next verse, and should I avoid this because it is pretty controversial. I know it. I know this is going to stir up a buzzard's nest or a hornet's nest. I didn't feel like I I didn't feel like I had the right to choose to not read that verse. Can you guys give me credit for that? If I'm going to read verses, I'm going to read them all. Give me credit for that. Because I literally, back and forth, I read this one, but back and forth. But as I read it over and over and over to myself, I'm like, you're guilty. You're just as guilty as every other person. Because you let the world inform you of your rights. And when you watch babies die. Thank you for listening to me today. I hope you come back. Okay? And thank you. I'm reading your comments as we go here. Woz says we protect money more than we protect our children. Yeah. And we use guns to do that, don't we? Okay. I almost don't know where to go with this because I know I stirred up a hornet's nest. But the truth is, I don't get to pick and choose which lessons to reveal. I just get to, I get to grow. I'll see you guys tomorrow. 4 things. Be impeccable with your word and your weapons. Please. Be impeccable with your words and your weapons. Don't take today personal. This was never an attack on any single person's opinion here or anything. I'm reading what Lao Tzu had to say, and I am a strong believer in what he said. I agree with what he said. Third, don't have expectations or assumptions. I don't assume anybody's going to really listen. I don't expect anybody to go get rid of their guns today. And I do have one small expectation, which is rather huge. I expect another school to be shot up soon. I expect another innocent civilian to be shot on the streets soon. Unfortunately. And do your best. That's all Pops did today. It was just my best. So, have a great day, you guys. I'm going to scroll you out. Anthony Hunt and Sanum and MVP. Would you sacrifice one baby to cure cancer? That's a good question, MVP. A really good one. Nurs, Mr. Marmars, Pacers, and Jesus Christ, and HB. And Captain Obvious, I planted some seeds. That's good. Anthony Hunt, thank you. Jesse Girl, Joe D's. Mr. Marmars, Aaron says sometimes hornets need to be stirred. Sanum HB, Canito, Jesus Christ in Australia. Queenie and Trenty, the Trenty Trenterson. Oh, Captain Obvious, pushing buttons. Jesus. Jesse Girl. Sanum, that was verse number 30, Sanum. Verse number 30. Lynette, thank you. MVP. Mr. Marmars, Kimberly, Jesus Christ, and Laura Divine. You have a beautiful Laura Divine day. Niffer Mama, thank you for listening. And I'm sharing Lao Tzu's thoughts as well. Joe G's and Sarah Bear and HP. And Greenie. Even though Greenie likes his guns, he still likes Pops. Jesus Christ and Jesse Girl. And Sanum and Mello. And Daniel Martinez, you two. MVP. Herbie Von Worrica, Broken Furby Kebab. Jesse Girl, Mike Barball, Niffy. Captain Obvious, thank you. Sarah Bear, I love you. Joe T's. Jesus Christ, Mr. Marmars, Mr. Phillips, JC. Herbie, MVP. It's going to be a beautiful day. Christina Bennett. I'm glad you're here, Christina. Jesus Christ, and Cleany, love you, kid. Sanum, Jesse Girl, Herbs, MVP, Jesus Christ, Aaron, Sammy P, Jimmy Max, Captain Obvious wants us to stay warm. I'm agreeing with her. Kimberly and Mike Barabal. Kimberly's reminding us to teach our kids to be kind. And the best teaching is an example. Be an example. Aaron, an MVP. MVP, you're asking some great questions. That's worthy of a Discord conversation. Herbie, Derek Anderson, I don't know where he is. Probably not feeling well. Mike Barabal, Joe D's, Jesus Christ, Mello. Wazzy, you have a great day. Warm, I hope you get warmer. Christina, thank you again. Sam, Jesse Girl, Shroom Digger, Mike Barabal, Joe D's. And Herbie Von Werby, Broken Furby Kebab. With the slaughter of multitudes, we have grief and sorrow. Every victory is a funeral. When you win a war, you celebrate by mourning. Pops, peace, love. Let's celebrate kindness instead of wars. Pops out.